pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, people.
Mark Lodi,
Present.
Gary Guglielmetti, Alan Valla,
Here.
Christian Lynch,
Here.
Henry Williams.
Present.
And the minutes are from all the way back in April.
Really?
Last time you guys were here.
Really? June. Yeah, I guess
Becoming an
so.
easy gig.
Yeah. Do we have any amendments to the minutes as submitted?
Yeah, I would like to amend it where it says that I said that if this project was in my neighborhood, that I would be totally against it. And then I went on to say that based on the project being on 28, which is zoned, it's multi-zoned from Boyceville to Bel Air, that's why I was in favor of it.
And it doesn't say that.
No.
Okay.
It just says that, I said that I would be totally against it if it was in my neighborhood. And I just wanted to clear that up.
All right, we'll tell Olivia. And we can wait on that correction.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
You can approve next month, I suppose.
Okay, so we have Mr. Josh Wellington Blueberry and Mr. Mueller. All these applications will require a public hearing, so we'd like to hear what your proposal is and why you need an amendment. And then the September meeting, we will have to have a public hearing that will, and there will be notification to all adjacent landowners, and we will have to hear any public commentary. So I think probably the Wellington will probably take the most time, so let's do that last.
Yeah,
Can
it
we-
is last, I know.
on the-
Mueller's first.
Yeah. Is Mr. Mueller? Earl? Can you step up to the mic, please, and tell us?
It's an easy one.
Hi, I'm Eric Mueller from 42 Fitchner Road, Chichester. And I have a garage next to my house that is 2 stories, or 1 story with a loft. And it currently exists at 18 feet. A tree fell on it this past winter, so I'm looking to rebuild it. It's slightly located further from the property line. And but I'm told I need a variance to go from what is 15 feet to the 19 feet that I'm proposing.
Which property is it? I'm a neighbor of yours. I'm right around the corner on Route 214.
So it's 42 Fitchner, it's that big old house at the end of the road.
At the very end of the road?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you
There's
get the
actually a
photos?
property
The
record
Fisher.
card attached to the application with a picture of the house on it, if that's
Yeah,
helpful.
but that was from 1933.
No, the picture of the house is current.
Oh,
I didn't see it, I didn't get that either.
No, it's in with, you didn't,
All right.
I also submitted an image of the,
That's not the house now.
that's
I went and I saw the house first. That's not
the
the
last time I was at the house, so it was 21, 22,
house.
somewhere
Okay, that's
around
not the house now. The house
I
is
also
completely
submitted this
renovated.
image in my application,
That's the one we're looking at.
Yes.
which is,
Is that the way it exists right now?
it's been painted 2 months ago, so it looks better.
It's a lot better.
Yeah,
I went and I viewed it.
yeah, okay.
Sorry, in your description, you said 18, something about 18, it's currently
The
18?
current building there is 18 feet high.
18 feet high, okay.
This one, garage.
That's correct.
Yeah, and how tall is the main house?
I have no idea.
Oh, it's gotta be 20 feet, it looks like.
Yeah, it's,
well, two stories in an
stories.
attic.
yeah.
This is,
Code lets him replace the garage in the same footprint if it doesn't meet the
This
side
doesn't
and
look
rear
like that,
setbacks,
actually.
but
It doesn't
code
have
doesn't
this
say that you
picture.
can replace in the same height. So I can't just let him go
This is a
ahead
picture. This is
and do that.
is this a recent photograph?
So, no, that was probably, I think, you know what, I think that was Google Maps, and it was probably about a year ago.
They went all the
I
way.
think
If
my
it's-
only concern is the distance between the house and the garage after it's rebuilt.
So, it's going to, right now, it's probably about just gonna guess, it's the distance between the, it's at a weird angle, so it'd be, there's not a specific dimension in each place, but it's about 20 feet, I would think.
You're asking
And
for-
I want it to be, I want the building to be, rather than going into the road, I want it to be parallel with the house, in the plane of the house, as the house faces the road.
But do you plan on moving it closer or farther away from the existing house?
It'd be closer to the existing.
Closer to the house?
Yeah.
About 14 feet?
14
was on there?
feet.
That's what this is.
So it's
right?
not just a roof repair, you're replacing the whole
The whole
structure?
building, yeah.
That's what this
That's
sketch
right,
is?
that's, so that's, yeah, that's
That's
the
the proposed.
proposed
The last page is the proposed
plan.
plan.
There are pages of the proposed building. There are, I'm also
Okay.
including, 2 letters of my neighbors who are fine with it.
There's Megan, Gary, and Pell.
Yeah, Megan, Gary Appel, and,
Know them well.
yeah, and Ryder.
Okay, so he's asking for a variance of 3 feet on the garage. The issue about height variance is, the main concern is impeding your neighbor's view shed, which apparently doesn't
I
apply
don't
here.
think that applies.
No. In fact, the
They're on
Appels,
so they're on a hill,
He's built into built into a hill.
yeah.
Right.
and this
Property
building is kind
upgrades
of-
this way, and the garage is built into a hill this way.
right, and the neighbors, well, the Appels anywhere up on the
My
elevation.
only concern was the distance between the house, the main house and the garage, and for fire equipment and EMTs, so they would have access through there, not to be too close to the house.
Yeah, well, so 14 feet is width of a road, and I would want that myself to access my property with vehicles, so that's.
Why are you moving it closer to the house?
So, if I may.
Sure.
Sure.
So right, I mean, it's trying to be here. Plan. So this is existing. And the house, the building's at an angle, it's going kind of into this roadway. I've been talking to the highway department for over a decade of what to do about the road here, trying to get a cul-de-sac, some way to deal with the snow removal better. So, in thinking about that ahead of time, I want to move the building back so that it's lined up with the house. But I don't want to make this building too far back because, and kind of go this way, because then it would really obstruct my view of my property. And I can't go this way any further because this is in a big hill, it's a big hill. So like the whole first story is kind of ends right about there. So I really have very limited options of what to do, and that's also the reason for the height, just give me some extra room on a small footprint.
And that shed is existing as well? Is that still,
So-
is that also there?
Yeah, the shed is existing.
That shed is, what is that shed? There's a garage at the end of the shed.
It looks like it was originally, well, it was originally a 2-story building, and then with a lean-to. What is it?
It's pretty big.
It's big, yeah, yeah.
Huge.
It's on this plan here, the assessor's plan. And it is, so I'm actually building a smaller building. 36 by 16 is the existing building footprint, and I want to do 16 by 24. Is that right? No, I'm sorry, I'm reading.
No, 16 by 24.
32. 16 and a half by 32.
Is the existing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I want to do 16 by 24.
I see,
Okay.
I see.
So they'll basically be on the same footprint, you're just asking for a height variance,
That's right.
basically.
Well, it's not really in the same footprint, it's in the same area. It's
Same
not the
area.
same footprint.
Same area, it's a little closer to the house, but it's also further from the road.
Okay. I'll do a drive-by, that's right around the corner.
Yeah, I did a drive-by. I really don't have a problem with it myself, based on, what it looks like now. My only concern was the distance between the main house and the garage, so, you know, emergency equipment could get through.
That's fire suppression, and that's medical emergency equipment, which you always, especially if an older wood building. You know what year your house was built?
1893.
Yeah. Was that a factory, Chichester factory house?
No, I believe it was built as a rooming, boarding house,
Yeah.
you know, for the workers, and, you know, but it was a private venture. I don't think it was ever used as that. It was immediately bought, and light fixtures who lived there for a couple generations.
Yeah. Well, any other questions?
Well, I just, you know, I'm just looking at this sketch and it's, you have to excuse me, I'm an architect, so I'm looking at the
Okay.
drawings and it's a little ambiguous. I mean, I see your intention here, I guess, is to line the house and the garage,
Yeah.
but it's, but it doesn't say that. You know, if there's a way you could actually say that you're gonna align the house so that we can actually show that, and also maybe give us a dimension from the road, so that we at least have that.
That's all in the plans.
This is the house, though, that's not the.
What about this?
Okay, right.
That's the center line.
If this is a Google.
That's the existing,
This is-
that's not the
So
new.
here's this proposal.
So this one here.
This is to,
I don't
I
know.
mean, there's no real, see, part of the problem is there's no clear idea of where the road is.
I see.
The road just
These aren't
ends,
human.
and
I see.
it's
This
just
is
a
all
mud
enclosed.
pit.
There is more space between, you know, he's moving
Yeah.
this. This is a garage
I
structure.
can only choose the
This
property.
is, what do you,
I suppose what I
No,
would
this is a garage
tend to
structure.
do is
Here's
it's
the
like
house.
put two
This is
arrows,
all
one
enclosed.
pointing to the garage, one pointing to the house, and just say align, so that we know that that's the
This
intention.
is the garage structure.
But
Does
this
this
is
even
it.
exist
Yeah.
anymore?
no,
Exactly.
yeah, there's three structures there, this isn't the way they are.
Okay.
That's not the way they,
But so far as I understand, we're only concerned about the height variance.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, the other garage is like 19 feet, isn't it? The existing garage?
Height?
No, so it's in the assessor's thing, and it is.
Oh, we're talking about height, that's not in my notes,
Oh,
but I think it's about
the
18.
existing one's 18, I think this one comes to 19.
Okay,
Okay.
Yeah.
because the existing one has a second story on it.
That's right, same, so basically, it's basically the same.
Yeah, I don't know where that is.
I think we have to check that. Other than that, I think it's right on. We should check.
Okay.
Is the garage gonna have plumbing, heat, electric?
Yeah,
Not as
But otherwise,
yeah, aluminum,
Eventually.
it's fine. I don't
Okay.
Yeah, I know.
Any questions?
No.
Yeah. Okay.
I make a motion, we hold a public hearing on Mr. Mueller's project.
What's our date for September
That's
20th?
a great question. I don't have my phone. I'll get there. I don't
Third
know.
Wednesday?
What's new?
The 18th,
Thank you.
18th, 19th?
18th.
Wednesday.
Mhm.
Yep,
Wednesday.
third Wednesday. So we have a motion before us that we hold a public hearing for the Mueller property on September 18th. That'll be
45.
6:45 unless we have an additional hearing. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, sir, thank you for your information.
And then do I need to do anything
No.
between now and then? Okay.
No, unless you want to convince your neighbors, which apparently you
I
already have.
already submitted letters from them.
Got it.
so-
You could also correct, just add that note to the sketch if you wanted to, the align. You can just bring it in the hand sketch,
Of which?
to align the garage and the house, just to show that they're gonna be aligned.
To the plan, to the building department?
No, here, bring it here.
Okay,
Just, you know, we can put that in the record.
okay, sure.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. That's pretty straightforward. And the next case is Mr. Josh. Hey there.
Hey,
Wittenberg Road. Is
This
this,
is the deer fence.
right, and it's the height of the deer fence.
It's-
That's going from allowable is 8 feet, you're asking for 9 feet? You're-
The allowable is 4 feet in the front.
Oh, it's in front, okay. Is this a property near Schoolhouse Road? You cleared a lot of land, there's a structure
No.
there currently?
no.
That's not
No,
it?
we're right by Winnie. We're about 3 doors next.
I know the neighbor.
Three house, yes, we have Tony and Suzanne Frank on one side, and then I got Sandra Schaffer on another side, and then Julian Chapuis is behind them.
Okay.
Is there currently on the sides of the property and the back of the property, or, you know, around the house, because I know the property is larger than what you want to screen in, is there already deer fences there?
No, no fencing at all. There's no fencing at
So,
all.
so this drawing
It's brand new,
is gonna be all new fencing?
brand new, yeah. Because we got rid of a lot of the dead trees that were there, cleaned up the land, and we're hoping to plant a fruit orchard.
Oh,
And berry
okay.
bushes, and that was the whole intention of,
All right.
so we're working with gardeners to try to create.
What about bear fencing?
I wish there was such a thing for that.
They'll be hopping over
What
that
what
fence
is the
with a
fencing,
fruit.
what is the material of the fencing?
It's aluminum. It's aluminum from what I understand. And it, most of it gets attached to the actual trees that are there, so it's pretty invisible.
Is it mesh, or do you know what size mesh it is? Is it-
That's about what it is. It's
4
about
by
this size
4?
mesh.
Like a 4x4 mesh?
Yeah, square.
So on this diagram, what side is Wittenberg Road?
Here,
You can see it where the driveway is. See where the
Right here.
driveway is?
I see, this is Wittenberg, okay.
That's Wittenberg.
And it's set back from the road quite a bit too.
It
And
looks
which
like-
will have bushes as well in front, so pretty much driving by, you wouldn't even
Well,
see it.
this is
He's allowed a
different than
6-foot
the other.
fence on the
Here's the
front because
driveway.
it's more
So it
than
would be
25
right
feet off
here.
the side
Yeah,
of the
it would be
road.
in
Well, this
here
is gonna be
somewhere. See,
15
it was
feet off,
confusing,
Yeah, yeah.
because it's not the
20
same
something.
shape.
No, no.
Right?
I was just wondering where on the
The-
lot was it, yeah.
Isn't he allowed 4 feet in front and 6 feet on the sides?
He's
and
allowed 4 feet in front unless he's more than 25 feet from the side of the road, and then he's allowed 6 feet in the front.
6 feet, yeah.
Yeah.
But you're he's closer, so he's still allowed 44 feet. And you're asking for 9 feet?
Eight,
No, no,
eight,
no.
8 feet.
Did you think of other measures to attract deer? Other than a
Yes.
fence?
Yeah, we did. We did a lot, but every person who was like, had farms and stuff, they're like, this is the answer.
But this isn't a farm, this
No,
is a
no.
residential.
I'm saying anyone who's trying to grow a lot of food on their land, and you really want to start from the bottom and like really build up the soil and have nice saplings and have nice growth, there's nothing that's gonna 100% eliminate them other than, I mean, we wish there was a cheaper way. It's costing us a fortune to do this. But ultimately, we want to live there forever, and we want to grow a big fruit orchard and have berry bushes that are very established. And we did the clearing now, hoping that, we can start that process.
Yeah. Good luck, we have a chipmunk problem all over the place. They go
Maybe
under.
owls,
yeah. And-
owls. Maybe we'll attract some owls.
Groundhogs, everything.
Yeah.
How close are your neighbors to this?
Not that close, not that close, but they are all aware as well, because they wanted me to get a land surveyor, so I hired a land surveyor, tagged out the whole property lines, and then after that, then I had the fencer guys come in, so they were all aware, they already see the markers.
Seems like if they asked you to get a surveyor, that they aren't, I think, so much in favor of this 8-foot fence.
No, the surveyor was because they never really knew that the property lines were, that the old owner never did it for a long time. And I said, I'd be happy to do it because I'm curious myself. And I
Yeah.
want to make sure if I'm going to get a fence, that we absolutely are very clear about where those boundaries
But this
are.
fence isn't fencing in your whole property.
No, not the whole property.
This is only fencing in the property around the
Yeah.
main house.
Yeah, less than half of the property.
Yeah, it's not uncommon that these property boundaries are ill-defined. In fact, it's actually common in
Okay.
this area. Okay, well, again, the issue of height, especially on a frontage road, is about public view shed. I don't see how that impedes a view shed in any way.
Why can't this fence go back further into the property from the front of the property?
It could, but we'd like to maximize the land, and we are going to be planting shrubs on the other side of it, so it basically look kind of similar to what it did prior to when we took it all down.
When you say on the other side, on the roadside or the,
Oh, well, where there was shrubs, we basically had to take them all down to get rid of all the dead trees, but we're just gonna put them all back.
on the roadside of the fence?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, so that'll be in front of the fence.
You won't see the fence,
Okay, that's
exactly.
like, yeah, it's good
Yeah,
to
you'll
know.
see like Astra,
The contractor said that that was part of your contract with them was to take down all of the dead trees and clean out the line where the fence was gonna go.
These were different people, but yes. There was a different person who did the excavator, and then there was a different person who was the fencer.
If you're driving west, this property is just before Winnie Road?
After,
Okay,
it's like 2 doors after,
got it, okay. On the right hand, driving
left-hand
west?
side, left-hand side.
Oh, okay, I got it, thank you.
So, doesn't he need 2 variances? A height variance with fence and also a frontage variance?
How far is
That's
the
a
fence set back from the side of the
technicality.
road?
I believe the fencing company put in that information. Myself, I don't know offhand what that is, but they did all the paperwork.
That's probably this one here.
The required setback is 25 feet.
I mean, the problem here is that the drawing.
And you
that-
want
It says
the fence at
15 to
15 feet,
40.
So you
Doesn't
need
show the
a,
property line.
you need a 10-foot variance in the front,
Why?
because it says that
There are no, okay, so for fences, there are technically no setback requirements for a fence unless the fence is going to impede the road holder's right of way. If you're 25 feet from the center of Wittenberg Road, not the edge, the center, I cannot imagine you're impeding the county's right of way along that road. If you are more than 25 feet from the edge of Wittenberg Road, you're allowed a 6-foot fence. It should be in here.
If not, you're,
Did anybody in the zoning department look at this?
That's me.
Okay, well, it says here. it
They've
said-
listed the
it said- it
required
said-
setback of 25 feet, that's
Okay.
incorrect.
all right.
They're saying that it's gonna be 15 feet from the front,
15 to 40 feet.
which
it
is
says.
fine.
No? Doesn't it say 15 to 40?
We're looking at the actual application here.
Yes,
Yeah, that's
it
what I'm
does,
looking
it
at.
does say
Front page.
15 to 40.
15
Yeah.
to 40.
Proposed setback is 15 to 40, but required setback is listed as 25.
Right.
That's incorrect.
And it says proposed setback, right?
15 to 40 feet
Mm-hmm.
from the front. A 15 feet from the edge of the road there, I
Mm-hmm.
cannot see it would be a problem. That being said, he's requesting a variance on a county road. This will be forwarded to county. I'm sure if
Yeah.
county DPW has anything to say, they will chime in.
right. Right, so it's a technicality, but technically true that he would need 2 variances. Two area variances?
He's allowed to put a fence there. I don't know why he'd need a variance to put a fence along the front of his property that's set 15 feet back. I don't understand why he'd need that.
So he needs a height
if it-
variance
It's
from
a height
4 feet
variance,
to
sir.
8 feet, which is
Yes.
a bar stretch.
He needs a 4-foot variance on the front and a 2-foot variance on the side and the back.
Okay. Any
Again,
questions?
public hearing, right?
Is the fence gonna stay aluminum or is it being painted?
Black,
It's
Oh,
all,
that's
all
great.
black?
it's all black.
That's
And
important.
how large are the
That
squares of your
disappears.
fence?
4 inches.
And how
I was looking up some
wide
fencing.
are the fence
It
lengths?
showed the
Very
black
thin.
fencing that-
Pardon?
Thin. I don't have the
Thin?
exact measurement.
Okay. Okay, any other questions?
No.
May we have a motion for a public hearing?
Motion for a public hearing.
What time?
6:30.
September 16th.
18th. It's gonna be a
18th.
early day,
Yeah.
or a long day.
Okay, so we have a motion for both public hearing on the 18th,
Yes.
18th, 6:30 PM. May I have a second?
Here again?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
And that gives the adjacent neighbors an opportunity to weigh in, which we are obligated to consider their opinions, and then we can
Okay.
make a decision.
They all get mailed, your request.
Okay.
So can I have a second on that motion?
Second.
You
need a
first
motion?
did it.
Your second.
Second.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Don't
So
mess with my
moved.
mind. It hardly
Okay,
functions.
see you on the 18th,
Okay.
Thank you.
6:30.
Thank you. All right, thank you so much, guys.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, on to the,
The headliner.
The headliner.
Yeah. Yeah, so we've been following this episode for a year and a half?
Not that long.
No? Okay.
Yeah, almost a year and a half.
Yeah.
Since they
Here, you're all
purchased
here.
If you like, I could do a very short context setting. Would that be useful?
What are you gonna do?
A
Context?
short context setting, just 2 minutes.
I'm not sure what that means, but it sounds
Yeah.
good.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Okay, I'm Jan Jaffe, and I'm the president of the board of the Wellington Blueberry LLC. Shelley Smith is also on the board. She's a preservation architect and a professor of architecture at CUNY.
And- And who is the Wellington LLC? This is basically a group of
This
neighbors?
is a community-based LLC. It's neighbors in Pine Hill, or people who have lived in Pine Hill, 20 of us. And Gigi Luizo, Patrick Woodsman, Chandra Valiente are also on the board.
Okay.
Um,
And this is
we
basically a
purchased-
private venture that is just under the LLC umbrella with
Correct. And
funding with private money.
we raised enough money to purchase a derelict 1880s hotel that was on the market, and we wanted to gain control of it for the community and try to do something for the community. Since then, we've had a structural engineer, a civil engineer, and an architect working with us on a design. We have partnered with Rubco, which is the premier regional housing developer in this area for affordable housing, and they're also experts in preservation, adaptive retrofit, as is our architect, TRW Architecture in Albany. Our plan is to create 10 units of affordable housing, and I can define that for you, and a retail food store, so that people can, the area is a food desert, as you probably are well aware. People will be able to buy essential food. So we're in front of you today about a variance for going from what are the permissible 4 units to 10 units.
So it's a use variance.
And the density.
We don't think that density is an issue, and we're happy to talk
Density is
about that.
100,000% an issue, but
Well,
okay.
well, let's talk, we've done
Density is an issue.
we'd like
That
to
is a big
discuss that.
issue.
Yeah. We'll
We
have to
can
look at
discuss that, because we've done some research on the code and want to get your feedback about that. Thank you, Grace.
Mhm.
Yeah. And Grace has been, thank you. I mean,
Did-
go ahead.
Did you guys do a site plan review on this project at all?
We haven't done it yet, with planning,
Yeah,
yeah, we haven't done it
because
yet.
I'm wondering why you're in front of us now for a variance for 10 apartments in the building, and you have no parking there, so I'm just wondering why. Is this a little premature for you to be in front of us for this, if you've got to go through all of those other issues and hurdles to,
Well, we think that the 2 issues and hurdles are the number of units and parking, and we want to keep them separate. And we
Yeah.
have to address both of them, but they're separate issues. And so we wanted to, we talked to the county and here, and we had a workshop with the planning board and thought it would be a good idea to come before you about the 10 units.
Coming dead in the water, I mean, we need to stop and do something completely different. We can't go on with the 10 units. You know, to go through the site plan review with all the other things, we need a special permit for multifamily housing from them anyway. Even if we're going to do 4 units, we need special permits probably for the wet, because we're partly in floodplain. So we have a lot of issues before that.
well, that's why I was saying, is this a little premature, because without parking, that's like the biggest issue you're gonna have. With 10 units, you're gonna need 1.5 spaces to park, so that would be 15, and if you have a retail shop, for every 150 feet, you're gonna need another,
We won't need the parking if we can't have the 10 units. So
Right.
we thought that was like the sort of critical thing. If you're not willing to entertain the 10 units, then we need to start over.
well, I think we're willing to do that. I'm just wondering,
We've
what
been
if
having
we do
com-
that and you can't obtain the proper parking, then the project is dead.
We-
That's true also.
So, you know, I think the first hurdle, if I was doing this, would be parking.
Well,
That
we're
would be
in a-
my biggest issue, because without parking, you can't go further.
We're in a bit of a bind, because every time we bring up parking, people bring up the number of units. Every time we bring up the number of units, people bring up parking. We think it's better to address this one by one, knowing that we have to address all these things. On the parking side, we are in conversations with the town. The town is in the process of looking at an additional site for parking. Everyone knows that there's no parking, on-site parking in Pine Hill, period. So this is a larger issue than just our property, but we've been in conversations, we've brought it up with the planning board knows it's an issue, the town knows it's an issue. We have some ideas about how to work it through. The 10 units, we're gonna have to come back to you to discuss. If we don't have the 10 units, there's no point in talking about the parking.
It's not just gonna be us, you're on a creek, which is part of the New York City water supply, so you're probably gonna need a variance. Variance isn't the right word, but,
I don't think so, but that's a question we have for you.
oh,
We're partially in the floodplain, but we're complying with everything in the zoning architecturally, no floodproof in the basement for the part that's in the floodplain.
okay.
So we think we're complying with everything we need to comply with. We know we need a special permit from planning because we are doing work there.
Okay,
We're also within 100 feet of a Class B stream.
Mhm.
We know we need a special permit from planning for that, but again, we're not doing anything that would require a variance, we don't think.
so you're saying a part of the properties on the floodplain is part of the structure, the dwelling structure?
Part of the existing structure is
Is in a
actually
floodplain.
In the
back of
floodplain.
the structure.
But we did do a
A something.
stormwater mitigation
Yeah.
study with CWC, so we
And an
know,
elevation certificate.
yeah, an
There are
elevation
mitigations.
certificate.
Well, do you see a clear path towards solving the parking issue?
Yes,
You do? Okay.
The only
What
possible
is the
vari-
clear path that you see? If you don't mind telling.
I'd like us to focus on the units first.
Well, I'd like to know about the parking,
We can do some parking on the site,
yeah.
and we have 78, between the street and the municipal parking, there are 78 parking spots on Main Street with the municipal parking lot. In addition, the town is in negotiation to purchase another parking lot on Main Street.
Oh.
So within 5 minutes of the building, there will probably be about 100 parking spots, and we will document that there is rarely that many cars in Pine Hill,
Yeah.
alas.
So the town is gonna purchase with taxpayer money a
No.
parking lot?
No, the town is in discussion with, and this is public knowledge, so I don't,
Yeah,
the town is in discussion with Botini they want to give
yeah, I
the
know
town
that
that
site
site.
down there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But they're
And
gonna
then-
purchase it, the town?
Hmm?
The town is gonna
No,
purchase
they're
it?
gonna
going to,
gift it.
it's a gift.
They're gonna gift it to the
Yeah,
town?
and remove the storage
Yeah.
units, and they're just going to do like
And the town is gonna maintain it?
yes.
Okay. How large is the property that the hotel sits on?
That's a question.
Less than an acre?
Our survey says it's 0.9 acres measuring to the center of the road, and the tax maps and the properties descriptions say 0.75 acres. because
Your
it's-
survey beats our tax map every single time.
Your tax.
Your
tax-
survey beats the county's tax map
Okay.
every single time. Assuming it was prepared by a licensed surveyor, it was
Yes,
filed
yeah,
appropriately,
yeah.
it beats tax map every time. That's just state law. Well, Don Brewer can just take him at his word.
So
It's
it's
fine.
0.9 acres.
Okay. Well, this board has long been supportive of this project. Actually, I'm in awe of what you guys have been able to do. And you recently got a grant for $1 million?
We're partnering with
1.6.
Ulster County Economic Development, and they applied for a grant for us, and we got it from Restore New York, from the Mid-Hudson Regional Economic Development Corporation.
There's $1 million?
1.6.
Wow.
And these
Very impressive.
these apartments are gonna be affordable?
They will be affordable.
According to RUPCO?
Yeah. It'll be, what is now the jargon is workforce housing. So it's for people who live and work in the area, who make no more than 80% of the area median income. And in case you were wondering, because a new report just came out today, so I have the latest on this. The median household income for renters in Shandaken, just to drill down to that level, today is $56,500.
Is what?
$56,500.
I don't
So-
know many people making that in my neighborhood.
I'm telling you what the median household income for renters in Shandaken. So 30% of their gross median income would be about $1,400 a month, which, if you look at the rents in Shandaken, that's a good deal. And that's rent and utilities.
I just saw, not to get off the subject, but I went for breakfast at the old Sweet Sue's, and
Bettina's.
the door going upstairs, there's two apartments, upstairs. And they actually are trying to rent one of those apartments above the kitchen and restaurant for $2,200 a
Yes,
month.
they are.
That's why we should be supporting projects like this.
No,
That,
we are
you know,
supporting projects like this. We gave them a letter of support when they first,
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
went on this venture to purchase the building
Which was
and try and go forward with it.
Yeah.
Just tantamount to getting the grant.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
So this
was,
board has long supported it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, we support you. I'm just curious as to why it seems a little premature to ask for the 10 units as opposed to trying to get those other issues resolved. But I guess you answered that question with,
I think would help the planning board, frankly,
gift of
for
that-
us to
that-
be able
that
to come to
property.
them saying.
Typically,
this-
the planning board sends us these sticky issues.
It's risky business to come here and try and sort of find a way around the density issue without, that should be discussed with the planning board
Yeah.
before you apply to them.
because we just had an
Absolutely.
issue just recently with a project on 28 that went back and forth for a while.
Yeah.
And I see Mr. Wydensky's name is on the
Now what?
the signature.
Or what?
No,
No, I'm just asking. Is
no,
Mr. Wydensky?
no, I don't know who
No.
that is.
Where is that?
What are you
Signature's
looking
right
at?
here.
What are you looking at?
The Howard?
No, is that a different,
You're looking at something else. huh?
Because,
that's a different one, that's
No.
the, yeah,
Oh,
that's a different.
We might want to dig into this issue of density.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, yeah, I-
really risky business
yeah,
to,
who is
even if you
ATMU?
convince
I thought it was these
them that
guys.
you
Oh,
don't
that's
need a density
Wittenberg.
variance,
This one is-
if,
this one is
if the
Wellington.
planning board still feels that you
This one's
do,
Wellington.
you're right back at the
Right.
beginning.
yeah,
But
yeah.
could
I'd
we-
stay away
maybe-
from the
maybe we
density.
could ask about- maybe we
Yeah,
could ask
go
about
ahead.
that. So my understanding is when you say density, we're talking about a couple of things. According to the zoning code, if you have multifamily housing, you don't need more lot area than you would if you had two-family housing.
Depending on the zoning district, yes.
Hmm.
In HC.
Correct.
Yeah, which is what
Well,
And so-
are you Hamlet commercial? Because the
Yes.
town
Yeah.
map shows it as a residential property.
No, it's
That
Hamlet
was
Commercial.
a little
It's Hamlet
confusing.
Commercial.
And it's,
Hamlet
because that's
commercial.
by
The
Brooks and
town board
Brooks in
redistricted
2006.
Pine Hill, Main Street, I want to say 8 years ago. Rob was the supervisor at the time. So the totality of Main Street, Pine Hill on both sides is zoned Hamlet Commercial. The map does not reflect that. I do not know why
Yeah, I
the
don't know
town
why.
board,
And that's a 2006 map, so it's a while
I
back.
do not know why the town board updated the zoning and not the map, but I promise you that they did. It is zoned Hamlet Commercial.
Description, the property description in the tax maps says HC also, so.
There you go.
I think that's what it's.
Okay.
So it's possible to do, under a special permit, to do multifamily up to 4 units for the town we need this for this. So the density, the minimum lot area for anything for single family is 15,000 square feet, which we're well over. It would be the same for two-family and the same for multifamily, according to the code. So I'm not sure what the density issue is. Then there's an open space requirement.
Don't go to the density.
We're not, I wouldn't even touch the open space. So the density, if you break the density down into its simplest terms, the minimum lot area in the district, considering that you have municipal water and sewer, is 0.34 acres. So for a two-family, you don't have to make that any bigger in that district, but you do have to take into consideration that now you've got 2 units on 0.34. So for each unit, you're associating 0.17 acres with each unit.
Okay.
So multifamily has to follow the regs for a two-family. So a two-family in an HC district requires 0.17 per unit. So for multifamily, you just multiply that 0.17 by however many units you want to put in.
So I don't, what I read is that there's no increase in the required lot area.
It reads that because in a residential 1.5, 3, 5, and a Hamlet business zoning districts, you have to increase the lot size by 60%
Right,
to convert for a two-family.
right,
You don't have to do that for HC.
right.
That's the only reason it says that increase, because it's an exception to the rule.
So why would we,
So I read that as the exception,
Yeah.
there's no increase.
There is no increase, so your base requirement there is 0.34 acres.
So could you show, so where does it actually say that you need that amount per unit?
You do the math.
But I mean, where?
There's no breakdown
Oh,
in
what
code
reg?
regarding
I
the
don't even
density.
know why they're in front of us.
But that-
Because
I don't
code is
know
written,
if the code
It's
that
a
she
less
wants us
complicated
to
zoning
grant
code than
them
most
10
people are
units
used to, so typically in a zoning code,
applies here.
I think
because
more
that's
current
only
zoning
the
codes
single
would break
and
down those densities
two-family
for you
houses.
into actual numbers.
This is
But our
a
code doesn't.
commercial
It
place
just
that's
says that
already
in order to
the
build a
hotel,
one-family
the
home in a
lodge,
residential
all
1.5
these
acre
apartments. I
zoning
don't know
district.
why this code,
So we could say it's grandfathered in.
but if it
Right.
wasn't in operation for
Thanks.
5 years, then you lose it.
Right,
So
right.
what's the point of that?
All right,
You know, and that's what I'm trying to figure out.
all right. Well, we're gonna have to review the
Grace?
density regs.
I can't talk over people.
Grace was trying to make a point here while you guys were discussing.
That she was just-
Yeah, but this is our meeting.
So,
I was
Okay,
asked a
but
question,
she's
which I
answering
was
the question.
answering.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm not trying to take over your meeting.
No.
No, it's as simple as density.
so is
Being
it the
straightforward.
chart, is it the chart we're looking at? What are we looking at?
You're looking at
What-
area
what is
and
it?
bulk regulations is what
Right,
you're
so it's
looking at.
that table, the area
Mhm.
bulk regulations, right? So,
Do you have a reg number for her?
it's
She's
the
got it.
attachment, the 116 attachment. Okay, so it's this table, right, this table that you gave
Yes.
us, yeah. So it's,
Can you show us what you're looking
yeah,
at?
so it's, if you go in the
Yeah, that's the
color,
bulk regulation.
Right, okay, yeah, yep. No, well,
So the first column is minimum lot area per single-family dwelling unit or other permitted establishments.
which you guys would fall under,
Right, it would be another.
right?
And then footnote A. No, that's not, so it's 15,000 square feet. And then it's
You're looking for note
footnote
3.
2, right. Minimum lot area for single-family dwelling unit is also applicable to all authorized commercial purposes, except where greater minimum acreage is stated in code.
You're looking for 3.
Minimum lot area for single-family dwelling unit shall be increased by 60% to establish a minimum lot area for two-family. So are you saying that if you had 2 dwelling units, you would need more lot area per unit? Is that your?
Absolutely. That's how code is written. Under the circumstances that you are constructing in a residential 1.5, 3, 5 acre zoning district, or a highway business
As
zoning
permitted
district.
by the notice, no increase in minimum lot area shall be required in the HR district for a two-family.
Which doesn't apply.
And it doesn't mention HC.
No, it doesn't. Which I read as no increase is required, which is which is good in this set of circumstances.
Yeah, that's
Right.
what I would guess.
So if you just take it down to its simple math, they're saying that you could build a 2-family house in a Hamlet commercial zoning district if you had 0.34 acres of land without requiring variances, site plan approval, just you were by right, as right, you're allowed to build a 2-family if you have 0.34 acres.
Okay. So you're making, I understand what you're saying. You're saying per unit.
And then you have to, yeah.
Per unit, not just that there's no increase. Okay.
Yeah, and then if you go into 11640, which is gonna give you the list of requirements for that multifamily housing, that's when you're gonna figure out what your density, which is that units per acre,
But
are required.
does this apply? This is a commercial,
It's
building.
multifamily.
Well, it's not multifamily,
It's the only
it
thing
was
we
a
have.
hotel and a lodge and an inn.
The
and-
proposed use.
Mixed
And
use.
I'm trying to look at the code, 11640, and
A.
that deals with single and two-family homes, and to increase those units, you can only increase them to 4.
Correct.
So they would need a variance.
I'm looking at, this is a commercial building, which already has, I don't know how many apartments in it already, or rooms. Does that particular issue in the, or article in the code apply to what they want to do?
The only thing that we have that applies to what they want to do is the same than when you guys were reviewing Mr. Wydensky's application. We don't have anything to call it other than a multifamily building. Code doesn't allow it for us to call it anything else because they
Well,
don't
we
give
have,
us.
we have hotels, motels.
Well, it's not that, it's long-term
We have-
housing. It's 10 long-term housing units and a cafe downstairs.
Yeah, but that's gonna be in the future. What I'm saying is what we're looking at right now to increase what they wanna do.
we have to look at what they want to do.
Yeah,
What they want to do is 10 units.
yeah, we know that. But I'm saying,
So
does
code
this particular
requires-
thing in the code apply to exactly what they want to do
No,
with
that's why
that
they're
particular
here.
building?
That's why they're here, because they need an area variance to exceed the 4 units, and they need, in my opinion, a use variance to increase the
course.
density required. So that's why they're here. Code doesn't allow them. Code frankly is strictly against multifamily housing. It just is. I didn't write it, please don't attack me.
It's from
You didn't say that.
1976, so
Right,
it's kind of,
right.
How large are each one of these living units? How many square feet?
They're about 600 or 700 square feet. They comply with the housing
Yeah,
community
comply.
renewal requirements. They're 11 feet high, and,
Really?
yeah, the ceilings are very,
yeah,
very tall on
They're-
that building. I've been in that building.
they're quite beautiful. I
One
mean,
bedroom that's
but they're
just
small.
very nice
They're
to
compact.
Oh, we put in a basketball court.
Mm.
Okay, so I guess we still need a public hearing.
If you feel you have enough information, if you don't require anything else of them, then a public hearing is appropriate.
I'm just gonna say it again, I don't know, I think it's like premature to come here and request a variance for that particular reason without, or issue, without going first with a site plan review with the planning
understand.
board. I mean, the planning board is gonna go over all of these issues that they have based on if we give them that variance
Of course.
for the 10 units, which I don't see a problem with. It's just that I'm saying, it seems to me a little premature. Why don't they just do that and then come to
back
us?
to us,
The
yeah.
planning board would kick it back to us.
Yeah,
for the
after
same
they
issue.
go through the parking and all
After-
that
yeah.
other
I
They
think
go
stuff.
there's
through density
financial
and
issues
parking.
to take into consideration here. Moving forward with this plan for them with the planning board, they'd have to put a lot more work into it, a lot more money into it, to get to a point where the planning board, I think, would feel comfortable reviewing the site plan. I
So-
believe it's not really jumping the gun.
How
but
much
for
more
lack of a
comfortable
better-
are they gonna be, the planning board, if we say, okay, and give them the use variance and area variance for 10 units? I mean,
I
The planning
don't
board.
see,
the
I mean, I
planning
can
board,
certainly,
how comfortable are they gonna be then?
I can certainly,
I mean,
and
I
I
don't see
will,
any
if the board
difference.
wants me to, draft a letter to the planning board. I can speak with Cliff and ask him what his comfort level with the
Yeah.
situation is. That's not a problem.
And how about an
Um,
advisory position
They
from the
won't have
town
an
board?
entire, oh, the town board, good luck. I'll ask, but getting them to write something down and bring to this meeting,
I think advisory positions from the
Certainly I
town
can
board
draft
would be a
letters to the
great
planning
help
board
in,
and the town board.
and I know that they would do that,
absolutely.
based on what they have already, agreed
We've
to.
asked them for their opinion in the past and they've not provided it, but I can ask them for it
I
again.
don't think under this appeal,
I'm happy to do
you know, I
that.
think that's gonna be an issue is gonna have.
Outside of those issues, if this board feels that the proof of hardship has been presented to the best of its ability, then you're ready for a public hearing. If this board wants more information, more proof
Well,
of
you know what
hardship,
she said, right, that's-
which is extensive for use
First, it's
variance,
gonna be-
you must receive that before you set your public hearing.
Yeah,
I'd like time to do more research into the regs before I make a decision on this. How are you guys feeling?
I would like to support this in going forward and make it as easy as possible for them to get to the next
I
place.
think
Totally
we do
agree.
support
Totally
them.
agree.
We gave a letter, we all signed a letter in support. We're not supporting them, we just want this to go the right way going through the process. Because I think if you skip certain things in the process, you're just making it more difficult. Now,
Sure,
that's
certainly
my own
elongating the
opinion
process.
based on,
May I say something?
Sure.
Part of our problem is we are privately funded, and
Yeah.
so we don't have a lot of money, we're not developers. And to get to that next stage, where we come to the planning board with these architectural plans, costs tremendous amount of money that we don't have.
well, you just got 1.6 million.
Well, we can't do that, has to go towards
You
construction.
can use that, I
Yeah,
mean,
no,
for
that's-
parking and everything
All
else.
state money is reimbursable. You have to have all the money to do the job, and then they give you the money once you
Yeah,
get
yeah.
the certificate of occupancy.
Does
So
1.5
what I'm saying
cover?
is we-
Well, how much is that gonna cost you more to go in front of the planning board for a site plan review? I mean, really think about it.
We
You're gonna
are
have to
paying
do that
between
anyway, and if we're in support of your
$30,000
project,
For the architectural firm to do these next extensive plans on the site.
you're still gonna have to do it, right?
If we get through this and we get the variance, then we know we can tell people, we can ask for more donations, we can find ways to come up with money. Right now, we have no idea if we're going forward or not.
We're also, every time, we're constantly applying for grants. So we have a grant into the Environmental Protection Fund. We're talking to Housing Community Renewal. every time we do that, they want to know where you guys are in this process. And our developer does too.
They don't want to ask about the planning board?
But,
Or
yeah, I mean,
just
the
where the
letter-
town is in
We
this,
did
or us?
we did go in front of the planning board for a workshop, and the 10 units was an issue for
Yeah,
them.
it's an issue
So-
with everybody.
Yes, so we thought, wouldn't it be more efficient, and as Chandra says, help us financially if we can go back to the planning board and say, okay, we've got more things to work out, but this is a big hurdle, and it also then allows us to tell potential funders that this isn't a showstopper, that the 10 units is not a showstopper.
And that's why I believe that we should support that in that way, so they can move
No,
forward.
I think we do support it, but I think it would go a long way if we knew that the planning board was supporting it or going along with it. I
But
mean,
it
did anyone advise you to come here?
Yeah,
They
they
all
would
said
like
who
to know what
advised
you
They
think.
Who advised
They
you?
said, we need to, like, what is the planning board gonna say, like, are you gonna be able
Okay.
to get a variance?
How about an
So-
advisory position from the planning board
Advice as to what specifically? They
for this
can't,
particular issue?
they can't give you
They can give
specific
us.
advice because they don't have a site plan before them.
They can give us an advisory position based on the knowledge of what is going to be before them and what was already before them.
Frankly, what was already before them has already changed again. The storage in the
Planning board should
basement,
probably kick it back
the
up.
cafe
No,
market is
but they
more of a
can
market
give us an
now. Yes,
advisory
things have
position.
changed
We
since
were
last
gonna
time
work
you
forward
guys
with them,
dropped
and
there.
if they get this, and then,
I
you know
can
what I mean?
ask them for their
And
advice,
also
I
the
can
town
almost
board,
promise you they won't
advisory,
provide it
all
because they
that
don't have a
stuff.
site
They
plan
didn't-
sitting in front of them.
Kick it back to us in the first place, which is.
They didn't kick it to you at
kicked all-
all. The planning
they
board
kicked
did
all-
not kick
No,
this
they
to
did
you.
not kick it to you.
Yeah.
The planning
No,
board
they
did not
didn't
send this to you.
No.
Who sent
We
this to
sent-
us?
They
We're
sent it
there,
to you.
this is a big
You
hangout
can't send
for
it to
them.
us without going in front of the zoning board, and they have to deny whatever you request, then it comes before us.
No one
Is there
told
any
us
way
that.
that you would give them an advisory letter, if this, and this are met, we would support this project? It would-
Yeah, I
Go a
think we
long
already
way
did
for
that,
them.
I mean.
Yeah, we would just, we
I
would
would
just rule on,
gladly do that.
or we would just rule on the variance. Hopefully positively.
That one variance, if we just had that ruling, then they would have it in front of them, and they wouldn't ask that question, and they could do it all day. Is that what
Two variants.
I'd be willing to have this board pass a
would
decision. I need more information on the,
You wouldn't make,
density.
you said you wouldn't?
I would. I would like to do a little more research on
Oh,
that
more
density
research.
situation. Not to deny the applicant, just to make sure we're doing the right thing, and we can defend our decision.
Do you guys have floor plans of the units? Do you have any drawings?
Yeah.
Because it's really hard for me to, make a decision here even without seeing anything.
We have schematics, if you want to see them.
Christian is an architect.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
understand, the architect, I understand completely.
And we just thought
Well-
you might ask that question, so.
Bravo.
Feel free to leaf through them, those are just pictures of the exterior of the
Yep.
complex.
Yeah,
So it's a beauty.
well, there we are.
Now you're talking my language.
That's your language? It's Greek to me.
So the first floor, that's the basement, and then the first floor is about half retail, and there's a accessible apartment on the first floor.
And another, one bedroom in the back.
Well, God only knows, we need the
It's
housing.
about 14,000 square feet.
Is that with the extension?
Oh, there's the only, the
You have a deck
addition.
that's gonna be enclosed, 400
Yeah, that's
additional
just-
square feet?
Yeah,
This is,
that's
this is
just
the
a-
addition right here, where
The
there was.
extension of the porch.
Just a screen
Yeah, I
porch,
know,
right?
but it's gonna be enclosed.
Okay.
It's gonna be a three-season,
Yeah, glazed.
There was a historic porch along that side before.
Yeah,
I don't never remember that.
yeah. We're going to go to SHPO and NPS for
I mean,
stage 2
I knew Richie Stokes.
to
I knew him since he was like 12 years old,
get
in Yonkers, so.
historic tax.
In Yonkers?
Yeah, in Yonkers, he lived in
Which
Yonkers.
is what we need to raise equity, so this,
Sure.
it's another.
Well, I think this board completely supports what you guys are
Yeah.
doing. We want to cross our Ts and dot our Is before we make any decision. I'd like more time to
We just
go
need
through
to know
reg number
what
40.
is it you need to know to cross your Ts and dot your Is. That would help us.
If there's anything
Because
else.
if there's
Okay.
something we can provide, or if there's there's something that is unclear.
I think it's pretty clear to me what you exactly want to do. I mean,
When you think
I
14,
just think that it's the hurdles that you have to get over to get to where this project can at least come together and to some completion, you know, this is only one of them. And I don't think you have a problem with us. You know, speaking for myself, I can't speak for them. Speaking for myself, I think it's a great thing that you guys, you know, collaborated together.
historic.
Yeah, well, is the building gonna be historically,
It's on
the
the
outside,
Register.
obviously, not
And it's, some of the funding is contingent on retaining.
on the historic
Yeah.
value of it, yeah.
If we delay this decision until our September meeting, does that delay impede the financing of this project in any way?
Are you saying setting a public hearing?
Well, it's gonna set you back.
We're not
a
asking
month. No, he's
for
looking
public
for
hearing.
more
You
information.
have to have a public hearing. If your intent is to vote on the application, you must have a public
Yeah,
hearing.
yeah.
I guess we're obligated to do that.
You're not obligated to do anything right now, other than if you need more information, you need more information. If you
Right.
think
That-
you
that-
have
that puts it
everything that
2
you
months
need,
out
then schedule a public
Yeah,
hearing,
that puts it 2
and then
months.
the
Why can't
budding
we
na-
schedule
you
a
know,
public hearing
properties
and
will
gather
come
that
and-
information under the,
Next,
you know,
the next meeting.
right.
I would like an advisory letter from the planning board, also the town board. I don't think
We can
that's
make-
asking much.
We can make that request, they may
Yeah.
not.
Yeah, advisory, though, I need you to be more specific about
Yeah.
advisory. What does that mean?
Yeah, I want to know where the planning board stands with all of this.
Basically, if the planning board supports
I will
it,
send them the
Yeah,
letter,
I
but
think from what I read, I believe in what I seen at their meeting, you know, that they support it, and the town board supports it.
they've not said that they support or do not support this project. They've never leaned one way or the other.
Yeah, well,
And they won't speak to that in a letter to this board.
who?
The planning board.
Well,
The
they're
planning
sup-
board has written
The
letters of
planning
support in
board
the
is supposed to
past.
be an advisory board, so they
The
have
planning
to
board
speak
is
to
not
some of
reviewing this
this.
project
They
right
just
now.
can't put their head in the sand and say.
They're not putting their
They
head
haven't
in the
seen
sand. The planning board is not reviewing this project right now. They don't have anything to look at when you ask for
Okay.
advice.
They know about it, they went to a meeting with them,
Several.
okay, several, so they know what's going on, so I want to know what they think.
They don't know what's going on. I'm telling you that since
Well,
the last time.
then we don't know what's going on either, if they
I'm
don't know
telling,
what's going on.
what I'm saying is that since the last time they were at a workshop, the plans have changed again. They can't speak to something that they have no factual.
I don't care about the exact plans, what I care about is the project in itself.
I will ask them
in
for a
its
letter about
entirety.
whether or not they
what-
feel that they're
What apartments
supportive of
look
the
like
project or
and,
not.
you know, what the sewers are gonna be like, I just,
I-
what their position is on this project.
I will ask them for a
I
letter
think Grace is correct, though. The planning
stating what
board
their
is,
position on the project is, but my advice is that you likely won't receive a response. But-
But it's a good
That's-
point, though, that if
It could be like that.
they had a
I think they
workshop
should
when the
read what
project was
planning
slightly
board's
different,
supposed to do.
correct?
very
They're an
slightly.
advisory.
It was
So
not a
does it
mandate.
make
They're supposed
sense
to
to
advise.
actually
And if
have
they don't
them
wanna
do
that, then
The
they should
planning
just
board-
go
a
to the
second
planning
workshop with the
That's
actual
one of the
project in
functions.
hand?
No, what makes,
board. They're an
So,
advisory,
the
they're an
planning board
advisory board.
did not send them here to you.
No, I
The planning
understand
board
that.
has no stake in this game
So
right now.
I
you sent
understand.
them?
I did not send them here.
We sent
You can't send yourself here. Somebody's gotta deny an application before you come here.
Why?
Just can't come in front of the zoning
Why
board
is
without
that?
going through the zoning and building department.
Okay,
I told them that what they want to do goes against code.
Therefore.
I'm the zoning enforcement officer.
Hmm, so-
And
I said to
We
them
we know
many
what you
times.
I'm
are.
not the architect, but I'm an architect.
Well, then
so I
there's
Did you
your
deny
denial.
their
knew that
application?
we were gonna need
There's no
variances.
application to deny. Through conversation with them and the planning board, without the planning board before and after, many, many conversations. We're best friends now. They were informed that what they want to do is strictly prohibited by code, by me, the enforcement officer of the code.
We want to make this thing move forward. I don't care, I mean, I do care what the planning board says, but if they're not going to put their input right now, we shouldn't let that stop what we believe is a good project to move forward. Why can't we give our imprimatur on it?
I think we are.
We can't.
Okay, so then we'll call a public hearing and vote on the
I think
variance.
Mark wants more information.
Well, we said, well,
I
again,
don't
I
know,
just said,
yeah,
that
So-
puts us 2 months out if we wait.
So if we have a public hearing next
Ooh.
month, You would
Between
vote
now
to
and the
say-
public hearing, why can't we get more information?
Well,
Technically-
that's a question. Can
Because
you,
that
can,
information needs to be reviewed in a public way if it's gonna impact the decision this board makes.
Yes.
If you want more information, you must wait for that information before,
That's
you
right.
should, excuse me, I cannot tell you what to do. You should wait for the next meeting so it can be presented publicly before you set the public
So
hearing.
the question is, do you need more information from us, or do you just need time to look at the code? Those
I
are the
feel I need time to look at the code.
Yeah, so
These
you
are some
don't need
complicated.
information
Does
from us.
this board feel that the proof of hardship has been submitted and requires no more proof of hardship?
what is the hardship?
Ask them.
They don't have,
It's not my
What's the
hardship, how on
hardship?
earth could I tell them?
There-
Basically, there's no for-profit ability to develop this. We're not trying to do for-profit. There's like no way to bring this property back into use for the community without doing it this way. We looked at originally into doing a hotel, a boutique hotel, whatever. It's too small to be feasible with the cost, the exorbitant cost of actually restoring it. The only thing we can do is put together 500 little grants, big and little, get a developer who's not for profit. That's the only way this can be brought back into use.
Okay.
There is, in the community has raised $550,000 of its own money. We're not getting any return on this money. We're just,
Understood.
we never will.
Sir, did you want to
Well-
have an input?
When this project is complete, it's gonna be worth something, so somebody's gonna own it.
No, yeah,
I mean, that's what I'm saying, somebody's gonna own it, it's not.
Based on what we put into it, what needs to go into it, it's not gonna,
let me explain something about affordable housing. If you get grants to do affordable housing, you also put an easement into the property that it has to remain that way. So we've run the pro formas. You can operate this building and you make a little bit of money, but it's not a moneymaker. Ultimately, we'll probably create a nonprofit organization that will own the building. We will hire someone like the Mark Project to manage it. It'll be a great asset for the community, but it's not going to be something where 5 years from now, somebody can buy it for $2 million and turn it into a boutique hotel or, you know, the market rate housing above Bettina. That's not happening because it's going to be restricted in the deed.
And currently, the ownership resides with the existing LLC, correct?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
So the hardship is that we either do this or the property just sits there. We'll walk away, you know, and it'll
Okay.
fall down.
Well,
It
we
has
only-
no value.
So what you're telling us, the hardship is if we do not give you, the variance for the 10
yeah,
units,
and they
you're
still
gonna
have to
walk
go
away
through
from
the
the
planning
property.
board, just like
We
Wadinsky
won't be
has
able to
go
develop
through.
it. I mean, we won't walk away, we'll hold it in our arms, but there's no, there's
Still
no,
have to review it.
yeah, we'll keep it
just
looking a
move
lot
this thing
nicer than
forward.
it did, but there's no way to save that property, and every day,
So
I mean.
now I look at it in a different light.
Okay. And I just want to say one other thing. It unfortunately was not cared for. And so, you
No,
know,
I
we
know.
have put a lot of money into stabilizing the foundation. We have to replace the
And
entire
he
foundation.
did a lot of things inside that weren't
It's a mess.
very good for the
Yeah,
building itself.
it's really a mess. And we have, you know, our architect and our engineer think we have stabilized it for a couple years. So that's the other thing. This can't go on forever. It's
No.
going to collapse at some point.
Sometimes it's easier to just tear it down and rebuild the, you know, I know, but it's such
We're
a,
not doing that.
no, it's such a historic building and it's,
Gentlemen, my name is Isaac Schweiger. I was one of the founding members of this organization.
Okay.
Chandra, the previous president of the board, is my wife, and I'm pretty intimately familiar with this project because I've lived it vicariously through her, and I've also been underneath that building, all the way to the top of that building, inside every cranny that there is in there, along with so many other people of the community, trying to get this thing to breathe. Because it was just an eyesore. It was a source, I mean, you knew Richie,
yeah.
not to speak ill of people who can't defend themselves, but he didn't do a very good job for the community over that building. We saw an opportunity, both for good and bad, with this building.
Yeah.
If we did not take it over, somebody else would, and it was not gonna be good for the community, and everybody knew that. So we banded together, and frankly, against all odds, got enough money to purchase this thing, and then got enough more money to continue to work on it.
Mhm.
Now, I don't know if you all been here longer than I have, but when was the last time anybody in Pine Hill, or Shandaken for that matter, got a grant of $1.6 million?
Nobody I know of.
Community. Because this isn't about us. This is about saving a town that frankly could be something magnificent,
Well,
but it's struggling.
that's like the anchor of the town. I mean, that thing's been there forever. It's,
Absolutely, and it could be again, and a rising tide lifts all boats. And when that comes up, the whole community comes up with it.
Sure.
And so, what these ladies are asking you, I'm gonna say in a slightly different way.
Say it.
Whether we do this first, or something else first, we need to keep momentum, because where we have gotten right now is frankly almost impossible that we got here, but we did. And we can't keep stalling out because somebody needs to wait for somebody else to do something else first. Give us the variance. And if you need a little more time to research the code, you can take all the time you want to do that outside of the public setting, because that's just legal research.
Correct.
Give us the variance, set it for a public hearing, research the code now so that everyone's ready to make a decision when we come back at the soonest possible juncture. That's what we need.
And you guys are gonna
Otherwise-
have to come up against the planning board anyway.
We
So
will.
we're not doing anything to,
We're not-
you know, let you run free. I mean, they have to
There's a
look.
number of different doors we could go through first, but this one makes the most sense to
All
us.
right,
and
all
that's
right.
why.
Public hearing and
I'll
we
make a
make a
motion
Yeah.
that we schedule a public hearing.
Thanks, sir.
Second.
All in
Second.
favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
What
So
time
No,
is
roll
this?
call vote.
No roll
No,
call.
no,
no.
What's the, who seconded this?
6:15?
Alan?
No, Christian
What
second,
time?
Christian second.
I second.
6:30, 6:15, yeah.
6:15.
No, 6:45.
No, we
No, we
have
already
one
got
at
it.
six
Yeah,
forty-five.
So this would be the
6:15.
third one. 6:15.
No, one is 6:15, the next one's
No.
6:30, this one's 6:45.
No, you
No.
did 6:45, then 6:30, this is
And now
6:15.
this is 6:15.
You go. Yeah, you go the other.
6:15.
All right,
To be incredibly
you
clear,
beat us down.
this board requires, for
You did
clarity's
your
sake,
job.
This
You
guy's-
did it
this board
well.
requires nothing
guy's
else
tough
from
to
these
beat
people,
down.
from them.
Good, good word. I'm sorry.
This board requires nothing further from them so that you can vote on this next month should you choose to do so.
I believe so, yes.
Yeah.
We don't require anything, but I certainly feel like having more information about the parking, I think would be helpful.
I don't think
Whatever
that
you
the
can
they can't
present,
touch the parking until the
the
town
public
either
hearing.
takes
I
over
just-
that lot or doesn't.
what
It
your
would just
future
like-
plans are with parking
Yeah, I mean,
and
what-
how
what-
it
Any
will
kind
help
of
the project
information,
itself
I
and
think,
make it,
would
you
help.
know,
Could you be more
complete.
specific about
On the parking? Well, I mean, is this really gonna happen? Is this, is it moving? Is like this going to, is this underway?
It's
to
in
get the parking
discussion.
lot?
The second parking lot.
The second parking lot.
I know it's
I'm-
with the council.
Yeah, I watched the meeting and
But
seems
isn't it
like,
true, if it doesn't happen, then they can't move forward anyway?
Not without a variance from this board.
That's right.
well,
For that,
be back.
well,
You'll see us again.
listen, good luck with your project. We certainly support it. I don't want you to leave here thinking that after all of this dialogue, that we do not support what you're doing. And we just hope, that it gets through the planning board, the parking gets worked out, and the Wellington Blueberry, and as a matter of fact, Stokes is the guy that named it Blueberries.
We know,
I don't know why, but
we do.
I just wanna see it open up and be a lovely building again where people can enjoy it and live and help the community in Pine Hill and Shandaken itself.
thank you for all your work.
I know
And
it's,
thank you for letting
you
us
know,
go forward just on this one small issue, because I really think it helps to just keep pushing inch by inch.
Absolutely.
Because
To-
nothing, we just bounce back and forth.
Totally
Nobody
understood.
knows exactly
well, you
what
did
to
good
do.
today.
Yes,
What?
great.
I need to know what the public hearing is for. A use variance for the density and an area variance for the number of units, or just one of those, or
The
both?
area variance for the amount of units? What
But not
was
the
use
density.
variance?
I'm confused about that.
No,
Is
the
that
use
a
is
use
still,
variance?
it's residential use, right?
If you increase density, is that, we've had this discussion.
Let's do the area
before, I know.
variance for,
Is
for
that
the
a use
amount of
I
variance
can
or
only
not?
listen one at a time.
Wait,
It is my opinion that
What?
they cannot move forward without addressing the density. It is
Right.
my opinion
That's
that a
a-
density is a
that's an
use
issue.
issue.
It's a use issue. It's my opinion as well.
So it needs a use
So the
variance.
density variance is a use variance.
Correct. In my opinion, that's for you all to decide, not me.
That's why I feel
They
I need more
also
time to read the variance.
Require, that can't be. This decision needs to be made now, because there's gotta be legal notice posted. This decision, by the time you close this meeting, you have to make this decision. The issue of area variance is clear, no more than 4 units, that's an area issue, not a use issue. The density, how this is presented to the public, must be decided now. The density is a use or area issue.
So it sounds
Discuss.
like we should say, based on your interpretation, there's a area, there's a density variance and there's an area variance. So
Correct.
The area variance is for 10 units,
It's to exceed 4 units specifically.
exceeding 4 units, and the density variance is for more units.
Than code
The
allows.
ratio between the units and the total lot area.
Yeah, the
Correct.
density.
So we're
It-
increasing the
area.
ratio between the total lot area and the number of dwelling units.
Yes.
And the reason,
That's the density.
the reason I feel that's a use variance is because it changes the use of the property, it changes the use of the land, because you're adding density, you're adding more people living in a smaller space.
Use
I don't
is
know.
multi-
It used to be a
use is
hotel.
multifamily. So multifamily is
Grandfathered.
multifamily
Just
whether
make it
it's 4
multifamily.
units or 10 units. So it's not
But
really
code
use,
prohibits
'cause it's
the use
multifamily.
in so for, no, it's for them to decide.
Yeah, that is one interpretation, yes. I don't disagree with
Let's,
that.
can't we just get through the area variance?
They can't move forward without the density and the area.
So it'd be easy if we just said it's an area.
There's no point coming back twice for the same issue.
That's what, that's what,
Well,
that's
it's
what
not
I'm
the
saying.
same
They have to
issue,
decide if
really.
they're looking at density as area or as an area issue or a use
Let's
issue.
just,
That's
let's
what they have.
use it as
I
an
suggest
area
we
variance
develop
and make it easy on these
Right,
guys.
well, in the
Let's
zoning
stay away from
application,
density.
Make them
you
both an
ask-
area variance.
Oh, I see,
Yeah, but you know, use variance is more difficult to pass.
Right, and that's your interpretation.
I'd stay away
It's
from
my,
density.
it's my interpretation of code,
I'd
that
stay away
that
from
excess,
density. You wouldn't get
excessive
involved in
density
density.
specifically,
Why they even
especially
bring
in
it
the
up?
Hamlet
It was
zoning
already a
district,
hotel
is an issue of
and
use.
lodge,
It's a use, okay.
so
Grace, how many-
why are we dealing with density? That wasn't what the,
You can't
that
say
wasn't,
because you can't say it's grandfathered in, because
To do the 10 units and the
5
cafeteria
years.
market
Well,
downstairs,
it
you
wasn't
guys would
used in
need
that respect.
2.04
It's
acres.
not so much empty. It's got, it
That's
can't be,
what I'm
if it was used,
So you
then
have 0.9.
technically it was used, somebody was living there,
Richie was living there.
yeah, but not,
But that was
not
a
used.
single
This is gonna
family. It was
become
never
an issue going,
multi-family
if these
house.
get approved, that
just
whole
using
area
cover it,
density
give them the
might
10.
come up again, not in the structure,
No, we
but
have to
in
do
your
both, we
open
can do
space
both, we can
requirements.
group them all under
Because
an
you have to
area.
have a
When
40%
did this
open
density
space,
I think
but
they're
no
two.
more than
It wasn't
25%
happening.
of that open space can be a flood zone.
No.
Still rule on two.
It just came up today.
just-
Yeah, but why?
We did the math.
That's what I'm
And
saying.
why, and
On the
look,
open space where.
Why can't we just have two?
Unless you end up incorporating.
And then
part
rule
of
Can't we-
the
Yeah.
open space,
Let's
you
do it,
can't
let's
have
do
it.
a use of area, and let's just
Let's
review
put
it
both
next week.
variances
I mean,
forward.
I
next month.
completely agree, and that's what
All
they're
right.
doing. but they need to
That's what we
decide.
just said.
all right, Grace,
Yes,
I'm gonna make, forget that other motion.
I'm erasing it, never happened. Let's try again.
And you
I
replace it
make,
with,
Motion.
I make a motion that we have a public hearing on the use variance for density and also the area variance for the amount of apartments in the building.
Very good.
okay,
Second.
so
Christian,
Second.
you know,
Christian gives a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so we're asking you to apply for both the use and or variance, we'll see you next month, and in which case you can expect a ruling,
yeah,
so.
It's a shirt, so it's right up here. What are you, the Marines?
no, it was in the Navy diver, demolition team.
It's close.
Yeah,
I was in the Marines for 10 years,
Were you?
so.
Central Plaza.
Find you.
Oh, bonding going on.
Huh?
Thank you all.
Thank you, yeah, nice job.
Leave here.
No, but I mean, it's
Listen,
funny, the way-
we usually get to where we gotta be, sometimes it just takes a little longer.
Oh, that's nice. You guys can't leave. No. You have to close your meeting. You cannot leave. Sit down.
We have to close the meeting.
We try to maintain separate bailiwicks,
Meetings and they go,
counter waste each
there's no
other.
reason for us not to do
And,
something.
but you have different cultures too, and so it's.
Yeah,
Which,
everybody.
I agree.
Sort
Yes.
of like, it's,
I completely agree.
when
Yeah.
we are planning board, culture should be various culture, the various culture. Planning board culture, but it doesn't seem to be that way.
I keep hearing that.
Yeah, this is so helpful. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, yeah, thanks for coming
No,
in.
we can't leave now.
Probably, I'm all in. I mean, you
I
guess
I was gonna go to the Marine Corps. Guy went to school and
On Saturday,
he was already in there, but he was already signed up, he was already scheduled for graduation.
And they're bored, yeah.
Thank
Thank you.
It's really up to
Thanks
them.
for
It's all
coming in,
public.
yep.
As long as you don't call them.
think it's pretty straightforward to move this forward.
Just want to move it
These
forward.
get more feisty.
Let them hash it out with whoever else they have to hash out with. If they need our approval to go forward, then let's go forward.
You see the planning board is primarily an advisory.
Your meeting is still
I don't know
open,
what the, I
guys.
don't know what the fuck they do. To be quite honest.
A lot of people say
We
that.
gotta close
Your
the
meeting is
meeting.
still open.
Okay.
This is all minutes.
I know a lot about it. Yeah, you do well. Thank you.
No.
Thank you for your
We're
input,
actually best
sir.
friends, aren't we? No, it would be no. Oh, there you go.
That's what we do
That's
here.
amazing.
May I have a motion to close the
Very
meeting?
quickly, if you guys want me to draft your letter to the planning board and the zoning board of appeals, I'm gonna need some guidance on that.
Yeah, that would be, you do write nice letters, I must say.
Oh, thank you.
I'm not in total expectation of a response, frankly.
I think, but I
Essentially-
think the planning board ought to read what the planning board is supposed to do, and they are a regulatory
Yeah.
and advisory board. That's what it says. So if they're an advisory board, they should at least give us some sort of guidance in some of the things that are before us.
Let's do this. I will try and draft a letter. I'll get it to you guys. You guys can tell me whether or not you like it. I will invite all of you to attend their workshop, which is the last Wednesday of this month, because it's your best shot at having an open conversation in a public setting.
The workshop is to address their issues.
If, I will bring that letter to them, I will tell them that you all want to discuss it with them during their workshop.
Okay.
That's next
If
week.
you're comfortable with that, the last Wednesday of the month.
That's
So is
next
that-
week.
Next week.
Yeah.
There you go. My phone's downstairs. I'm basically useless without it.
I hate phones.
Now, meanwhile, can you tell us where the APFU, that is the Wadansky problem, where that situation is?
It's
Is
back
it-
with
It's
the,
still in front of the planning board. It was,
I
they
spoke
sent
to
it
them.
to county for comment during their meeting last week.
Oh, and one other question. We didn't do like old business, new business or any of that, but under old business, the issue with the sauna and the A-frames, where is that issue?
I have no idea. It was my advice to,
Oh,
Mr. McGann owns that, well, he
It's too
doesn't own
close
it.
to the,
but
oh,
he's
yeah, yeah,
the-
yeah, yeah, he took it away, right?
So we didn't, Mr. McGann and I can't decide what kinds of variances he needs until he gets advice from the floodplain administrator. And that's where I left it with him probably 2 months ago. So I don't know that he has or hasn't received that. It really comes down to if he has to anchor those A-frame structures, they become accessory structures, and he needs an additional variance to, from this board to do that. But I can't advise him on that until I get the opinion from the floodplain administrator.
Okay,
Who is the current floodplain administrator?
Donna Lemoyne, our code enforcement officer, is also our floodplain administrator.
yeah,
Okay.
Peter is one as well, but
yeah.
she doesn't do
I thought
this.
Peters took on that responsibility.
He did, and then asked Donna to take the classes and take on that responsibility last year, I think.
And
At some point.
meanwhile, the town has denied the opportunity to purchase the Phoenicia Schoolhouse. Is that
Yeah.
correct?
There was a special meeting last night, basically, they essentially said that it wouldn't be in the municipality's best interest to relocate to a place that could potentially become an island in a bad flood event with if 214 got flooded or washed out, then we would all be kind of stuck. And then we're all in Chichester, and that's a little tiny piece of Shandaken.
Okay.
So there's no, moving forward, I don't think that the town is interested in the purchase, but would support
I know.
the idea of some purchase for community. I guess Peter's talking to county about trying to find a way for it to be a community, so you'd have to talk to Peter.
Something
I
for the
think
community.
42 where the police department is and renovate that, build that into a town hall.
The police department?
Yeah, yeah, up in 42,
By
building they put for
by the
the
park.
ambulances and the police department.
Yeah, I don't know that there's enough room. Really, the biggest concern here, I think, obviously getting us out of this building's in a floodway and that's awful. But it's the highway garage that I think is a bigger burden, and there wouldn't be the room there, I don't think, for everything. I don't know, you'd have to ask Peter. He did
Don't
say
they
at the
have
meeting
something up on
last
the hill
night,
too?
he did say that that's the quarry though, and they're still using that
Oh.
up the hill. He did say at the meeting last night that they were looking at potentially a purchase from DC or DEP in Big Indian to build a new town hall, and he was also looking at vacant acreage owned by Stonekill Farms in Phoenicia on 20H. Looking into both of those being possibly a location. for
Across
a
from the
new town
Baptist
hall.
campus on
Yeah,
Big
Big
Indian.
Indian is across from the Baptist.
To build a new town hall.
Really?
And a, new administrative center.
Mhm.
And then the town garage, the DOT garage.
At least here, in this building, when we're up here on the second floor, we're out of the floodway, really. Like, this
Well-
building could be brought into compliance with FEMA standards, I think, if we took everything out of the basement, but there's not enough room for us to work, but at least the building would be okay. There's no way to get all that equipment out of the floodway. It can't be
Yeah.
done.
Yeah, but it's been there for how many years?
I know.
You know?
I think a lot of it all goes back to like the ability that we as a municipality have to apply for and receive certain types of grants. Given that we're located in a floodway, it hinders our ability to apply for certain grants.
You saw what just happened in Vermont.
Yeah.
They've been
Yeah.
whacked by hurricanes.
About Connecticut.
Connecticut, yeah.
Connecticut, New Jersey.
We've been extremely lucky in this community.
Yes.
So, but we won't be lucky forever.
I saw a TikTok of somebody's house falling off its piers and like
Yes.
floating away into the
Yeah.
ocean. It was
Yeah.
terrifying.
Well, I don't want to see a house floating away into the Esopus Creek, which has happened in the past.
No, I know, I've seen that. Mm.
So,
Is there any other business that we have before us?
Not that I'm aware of. Unless any of these unless you guys feel that any of these applications should be referred to Ulster County for their comment. Anything within 500 feet of a state or county road must be forwarded.
Yeah, send it to the county. Does it?
Which ones? Let's see. Mr. Josh, obviously, he's on a county road.
It's county road.
Fitchner is a town road. I don't know if it's within 500 feet of 214. I can figure that out.
I think it's further.
I would say no.
Yeah,
No?
It's all the way back there.
And so then
It's
you're
a
left
very
with
interesting-
Wellington, which is on a town road, and I don't know if it's within 500 feet of
what?
state-owned property.
No,
I don't
that's
think
further,
so.
that's further than 500 feet.
I don't think it did.
Which is
28.
28, Wellington's.
It's certainly,
Much further than-
I mean, I
Yeah.
can measure it, but I'm sure it's more than, well, let's do it. Measurement
Fitchner Road, that's more than 500 feet back there.
by feet. For the
These
back
are all
of
the-
Wellington
Yeah.
to 28 is 687 feet.
Hmm,
Billy Fitchner.
700 feet.
Yeah, it's just old, yeah, Bunk Fitchner,
Way before my time.
Bunk Fitchner.
I don't even know who that is.
Yeah, his house burnt down, it's the one behind where the Napa old building on 28 is. Above that was his house.
No, wait.
Oh, okay.
And
Wait,
that's where
wait,
Billy
wait.
Fitchner owns all that property, Bunk owned it all up there,
And
the trailer park.
there's a Finch Road over there too. There's
Yeah.
two Finch Roads.
Yeah.
One has a T, one doesn't.
He used to tell Bunk to stop smoking. He says, oh, I got cancer if you're spitting and smoking.
It's 620 feet from the county's right of way, so it's, you don't have to forward Wellington to county.
Okay.
Well, how about the fence?
The
Josh.
fence has to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll refer that one. I don't know that they'll care, but we'll send it along to them anyway.
Well, the guy wants to do an orchard, that's admirable. Hopefully.
We
he'll
love
do
an
it for
orchard.
20 years until he harvests an
You
apple.
should
Yeah, he
keep
sounds
some
like he wants to
bees.
do the right thing. I mean, it doesn't sound like he's fly by night.
No.
Josh,
The fence.
the fence guy.
I don't understand it. You come to the Catskill Mountains, which there's deer and.
I know.
bear
They wanna
and
grow
rabbits and
berries.
Squirrels and
I know.
foxes, and you build a house,
it's
and now you
crazy.
wanna build, put an 8-foot fence around the house. It's not even the house, it's a large section of the property that this
Yeah.
fence
These
is
are pretty
around.
good shot.
What's the point of it all? I mean, really?
Well, so he can grow his
His
fruit.
orchard.
When the bear goes through that, the bed's.
That's why I said
Yeah.
that the
Yeah,
bears.
that's the thing,
I
it's
know.
not
They
a-
love berries and fruit.
It's
trees.
not a robust fence, it's a horse fence, you know, it's just an aluminum wire, so it's, a bear will go right through it.
Right through it.
Had a couple of bears by me this
The point
week.
is to try to
Yeah, really?
control Mother Nature.
My trees, my
Sometimes we
dog
have to learn the hard way.
in the
Oh.
daytime.
What kind of dog
The
is it?
fucking dog. I had it outside and the bear was in the yard.
This is a,
Still on TV, dear.
My dog, are you hearing me? About my dog?
All right, motion to close. Who's gonna give me a motion to close?
Okay, we did have a motion.
Did we? I forget.
And who seconded?
I second the motion. to close the meeting.
Okay.
Alan always seconds it.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting so